Good morning. I want to talk this morning about fasting. It's a new concept that I've applied. It's not new to the keto world, it's new to the Condi world. Um, what it is and what it's not. For any information on fasting, intermittent fasting, or 24-hour fasting, or however you want to experience this, or if you do want to experience it or experiment with it, Dr. Jason Fung has some amazing information about fasting. Um, that's one of my favorites. There are a lot of the keto doctors who really are proponents of fasting. I also read about it in my book called The Maker's Diet. Um, he talks about fasting. One of the interesting things about fasting is all of your religious sects have fasting in their doctrine. But now enter Kellogg and Post and USDA and so on and so forth. Now all of a sudden, fasting is bad. You have to have 3 meals a day. Breakfast is your most important meal, they say. Well, I started playing around with it when I first started, and I did great. And then I got back into the habit because that's my problem with fasting right now is just the habit. This morning I am getting things ready to go to my mom's here pretty soon for lunch, and I saw some uh, egg salad in the refrigerator that I made last night for supper. Anyway, just out of habit, just out of habit, I grab a spoon and I was gonna eat some. And I was like, whoa, 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 wait, Condi, you're not hungry. Your energy levels are good. Your tummy's not rumbling. You are alert. You are not hungry. Your body's not wanting to eat. What are you doing? It was habit, not hunger. That's my biggest monster right now is trying to break those stinking habits. Um, when I do prolong eating, and that's the way I do it. I push back breakfast as far as I can push it before I'm just absolutely thinking I'm going to go nuts. Yesterday, I didn't feel good. I was a little headachy because of the weather change. It was sinuses. When I took some sinus medicine, it went away. So it wasn't anything diet related. It was pure weather, sinus, yucky. I was able to push it back until about 10:30. That's not bad. And then I didn't have lunch all day yesterday. I ate my breakfast at by the time I got it made, it was about 10:45. I ate and then I was fine until dinner time when I got home from my brothers and my folks' house. I had some of the egg salad that I had made that I had some leftover that I talked about this morning. And I had probably, I don't know, maybe a quarter cup, maybe a half a cup. I don't know. No bread, just the egg salad. And I was not just satisfied, but I was full. And I was very content, very happy, very emotionally happy because my hormones are lining up the way they're supposed to be. I don't feel deprived at all on this. Even during the fasting time, I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like, oh, I wish I could eat something. Because if I feel like, oh, I wish I could eat something, I'll eat something. I'm a brat. I really am. I'm a spoiled little brat. And I am not going to be contented in life if the whole time I'm telling myself no. And that's what's amazing about this because people who are carb burners, who are on the outside looking in, their first thought is, oh, you are so restricted. I don't think I could ever do that. Well, if it was going to be that difficult, I know I couldn't. That's why I wasn't able to stick with the Weight Watcher plan because I felt like I was constantly having to keep track, make notes, record, count, count my water, count my points, count my this, count how many of fats did I eat today, how many that did I eat today. I'm not good at that. To me, I felt like I was a prisoner to my food. Um, so in all reality, even though on the outside looking in, it sounds like this is very, very restrictive, on the inside, it feels very liberating. I don't have to think about it. I don't think about it that much. I really don't. Um, I don't miss the breads and the sugars and the starches and the potatoes. I don't miss them at all. Now, at first, when I first started, I wondered if I would. So I found some bread recipes, some keto bread recipes, and I found a keto mug cake recipe. And I would recommend if you're going to do that, give it a good month to 6 weeks before you do it because you are going to have to readjust your taste buds. You really are. And that's, I mean, really, when you're talking for a lifetime that you've got to look forward to take about a month to 6 weeks to readjust your taste buds really isn't that long in the whole scope of things. So, about 6 weeks after I started this, I made a keto mug bread. I didn't like it. I mean, it tastes like bread. The taste buds were happy with it. It was really not unpleasant tasting. It was very good as actually. I just got bloated because I mean I used almond flour and stuff like that. It was heavy in my belly. Well, when I had my cheat day that I talked about on my Facebook page, and I had a little bit of regular bread with a meatball sub, and I just had a little tiny bit, not a lot. I felt bloated. So it wasn't necessarily the fact it was keto bread that made me feel icky. It was the bulk that I used to get with regular bread. And I showed myself that when I had some regular bread. And the keto bread did the same thing. It just provided bulk. I wasn't satisfied with it. I didn't like it. And then one day I tried, I thought, for some reason today I think I might want something sweet. And I saw a recipe for keto mug cake. Now, when I'm by myself, this mug thing, that's great because you mix it, it's one serving, you mix it in mug, pop it in the microwave, boom. I tried that. It was so stinking sweet that my whole body just went, I couldn't do it. I followed the recipe to a T. Your taste buds do change. But knowing that those options are out there and knowing that I can, if I want, I really don't feel deprived. And that takes me back to the fasting. I don't feel like I have to fast. There are only three main rules with following the keto diet. Increase your fats, choose healthy fats. Decrease your carbohydrates, which is your grains, um, your sugars, grains, and starches. Cut those out as as to zero as you can possibly get. Just get rid of them. There's no reason to have them. Keeping your carbohydrates to your leafy greens and above ground vegetables, and eat only when you're hungry. Well, that eat only when you're hungry. That's what's fallen into this fasting. I'm not hungry in the morning, but I was eating. When you're not hungry, you don't need to take in nutrients. You don't need to take in your food when you're not hungry. You are not going to go into what they call starvation mode When your body feels like, oh, there's no nutrients coming in and I need to make some cells, they're going to pull it from your fat. They really are. Um, Dr. Fung used the example of the concentration camps. And we're not talking that. We're not talking just don't ever eat. No, are you kidding? Do you really think I could do that? But taking a prolonged time in between your meals to allow your body to do what it's supposed to do in regenerating and consuming the fat cells and giving your insulin stuff a break, letting your cells become sensitive to the insulin so that it works correctly. There's there's only health benefits in that. If you are overweight, if you have type 2 diabetes, if you have, and I'm not saying type 1, keep that in mind before someone watches this and goes, wow. No, I'm saying type 2 diabetes, don't do anything. If you're type 1 diabetic, you keep with your doctor all through this because ketosis and ketoacidosis are two different monsters. And I'm not going to be responsible for someone ending in the hospital with failed kidneys because, well, Condi said, no, no, no. Type 2 diabetes is a completely different disease than type 1 diabetes. And that's what I'm referring to. If you're type 2 diabetic, you are not going to hurt yourself if you're fasting, if you are not taking insulin to control it. If you are taking insulin to control it, talk to a doctor. I'm just talking your average everyday Joe. When you fast, your cells are becoming more sensitive to the insulin and they are actually taking in the fuel that your body's providing for it easier. Yesterday, when I ate the little bit, I felt great before, except for, like I said, the sinus headache, but that's life. That's life for me. It's the way my body deals with temperature change or weather changes. It's just life. But I felt great. And I had a little bit, and a little bit satisfied me. No, the stomach doesn't shrink. I had that conversation in with the weight loss surgeon one time, and he explained to me, your stomach doesn't really shrink when you skip a meal, contrary to what people say, because your stomach is like layer of 3 layers of muscle. It's not that. It's not like a balloon. You blow it up, it's going to shrink, air stretch, and you let the air out and it's going to shrink. It's a little tougher than that. But what does happen are your hormones come in line. Your leptin, your ghrelin, your insulin, your hormones line up the way they're supposed to be. And you really don't get that hungry. And it doesn't take that much to get you satisfied when your hormones are lined up. An example of how that plays in a role when we were getting ready to go to Eureka Springs, and that's just a month ago. I decided we were packing. I was tired, and we had a lot of packing to do. We wanted to leave early in the morning. So I said, instead of messing with supper and cleaning up the mess and adding more stuff to what I've already got to do, why don't we just order pizza? Now, when I suggested that, my first thought was, I'm going to pull the toppings off the pizza. I'm queen of that. Even before I went keto, even before I went no grains, that's always been my favorite part of the pizza. I'd get in trouble as a little girl because there was leftover pizza in the morning. You'd find leftover pizza crust and all the toppings are gone because, well, Condi got pigging out. So that's what I was going to do. But they sent a little dipping container of garlic butter. I love love garlic butter. I could eat it with a spoon, and that's probably what I should have done, but instead, I picked off a little piece of the crust and I dipped it in that. It took 3 pieces of pizza before I was satisfied that night. I don't eat like that anymore. And when I was talking to my stepson's wife, my daughter-in-law, Sheila, she's like, "Yeah, if I eat any kind of carbohydrates, I'm just starving." She's been doing this too. She says, and then I'm sick. She said, it just, they just mess my stomach up, but I'm starving. And that's exactly what happened. Why? Well, your insulin kicked up, your leptin fell down, and so did your ghrelin. Ghrelin. Ghrlin. I think ghrelin. I think is how you say that. Anyway, so lesson learned. I really, really did not like that pizza that well. While we were on our trip, never once did I suggest pizza. I probably won't ever again because it didn't satisfy me. It was a blah food for me. It took too much to get me where I wanted to be. Emotionally, it didn't satisfy me. Physically, it didn't satisfy me. There was nothing about that pizza except for that butter dipping sauce, that butter garlic dipping sauce. So next time, I guess if we order pizza, I'll just ask them to throw in 2 things of the butter sauce, and I'll just eat the butter sauce. I could live with that. That was some good stuff. Anyway, so when you're fasting and you're getting your hormones lined up, you're not going into starvation mode. You're not feeling deprived. Now, I wouldn't suggest starting keto right away with fasting. You know, it is a habit thing, and you need to get your habits lined up first. And I'm still working on that. And that's kind of the tool I'm using to get my habits lined up. No, Condi, you don't have to eat at 8 o'clock in the morning every morning. You're not hungry. Your body doesn't need food. Maybe you are. Maybe your body is the type that when you get up in the morning, you could eat a bear because you're starving. Like my uncle, I had an uncle who had Down syndrome. Oh, I miss him, my Uncle Donnie. Anyway, he'd come home from work and tell his mama, horse. He could eat a horse. He knows he could. Well, maybe you wake up in the morning, could eat a horse. But at lunch, you're really not hungry. But yeah, it's lunchtime. You're on your lunch break. So you eat out of habit. Maybe that's the meal you can fast. And imagine, what could you get done during that 30 minutes if you're not eating? Maybe you can prolong your lunch break and get a little more work done. Maybe if you're self employed, you can see another client. Maybe you can run around town and get some bills paid that you just never really had time to pay because you're working from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening and everybody's closed when you get off work. You know, not open before you go and close when you get off. You can use that lunchtime to run around and do things, errands that you normally wouldn't do. Save you some time. It makes life more efficient. Or maybe you just feel better sleeping at night if you skip dinner. Maybe your body's that. So you eat lunch and you don't eat again until breakfast the next morning. You know, do what your body tells you. But know that our bodies do not require 3 meals a day, and absolutely not 5 or 6. If you're having to eat 5 or 6 meals a day to stay satisfied, look at what you're eating. Are you having more carbs than what you're supposed to? Are you having enough fat? Because fat will keep you satisfied. You know? Do you need a little trick to get you through your first couple of times of fasting? How about a cup of a chicken bouillon with a little butter in it? I did that the other day, and that was pretty darn tasty. Yeah. Um, or the bulletproof coffee in the morning if you're having a hard time getting through the fast. I don't do that now. I only drink black coffee, but it helps. It helps. Before you start fasting, though, look the information. There's there's people that's losing weight on keto just fine that don't fast. Go keto with Casey. She doesn't fast. She has her meals. Um, or some people they fast and don't realize they are. And you follow they eat when you're hungry, and they are only hungry 2 meals a day. But they don't say they're fasting because there's connotations with the word for some reason. But they just don't get hungry and they're only eating when they're hungry. Well, instantly they just introduced intermittent fasting to their world, to their body. I used to eat, I was like a little hobbit. So, well, that was first breakfast. What about second breakfast? What about elevensies? Every 2 to 3 hours, I was putting food in my mouth. I was not necessarily tummy hungry, but I just wasn't satisfied. I just had cravings. I had just felt the need to eat. And society looks down on that, even though they're doing the same thing. When you stop that, your energy level comes up, your weight goes down, your health issues improve. It introduces, and here's a big word, and I like it, and I can say it, me and my big words stumble over them, autophagy. When you start fasting, you prolong your spaces in between meals. Autophagy kicks in. And what that is, and Dr. Jason Fung talks about it, so does Dr. Eric Berg, so does Dr. Ken Berry, and so does Dr. Sarah Hoberg. And one of these days I'm going to do a video on and list all of them that I watch, all these doctors and professors and scientists. And what autophagy is it is the body's way of recycling your cells. A cell doesn't have the same lifespan your whole overall body does. You are producing new cells all of the time. Your body is producing waste. That's why you go to the bathroom. And if you don't go to the bathroom, you end up very ill. But autophagy is when your body recycles the old cells. So you have new cells that are needing to eat and they're being produced. And you have old dead cells. And you're not taking in food. If I understand this correctly, I'm not a scientist, so I had to dummy it down for it to make sense. Then your old dying and dead cells then become part of the food source your new cells eat. That's why when you watch, or go keto with Casey, she's darling. You would, if you watched her, you would love her. She is in her 60s. She's lost 97 pounds. And one of the things that you notice about her, and she's like 5 foot, I think she said 5'1", 5'0", little bitty teen tiny thing. She doesn't have a lot of hang. You see people that lose weight fast and now the skin hang out, they look like a Shar-Pei puppy. She doesn't. She looks darling. And she doesn't have the goose waddle. She doesn't have hangy skin on her. She wears these cute, she says, I don't exercise, I just dress like I do. And she wears these cute tank tops and the cute, she's not had skin surgery because her body reproduces and recycles the fat cells and the cells as she's losing. That is one of the great things I'm noticing with keto. My skin elasticity is nice. When I lost weight after weight loss surgery, I looked 10 years older than what I did. I ended up gaining it back. One of the things I kept thinking is I look old. I didn't like the way I looked. Yeah, I was thinner, but I did not really seriously. I saw pictures of myself and it's like, ooh, I look like I was 10 years older than what I was. And for a vain woman, you don't want to look older. Heavens, no. But with this, I'm looking in the mirror. Now, granted, I've only lost 30 pounds, but I'm taking it nice and easy. I'm comfortable with it. Everything's working. I don't have the skin hang. I mean, I've got a little bit, you know, but, I got a little bit on my arms, but that's fat, sister. That's fat. And that's going to go off. I'm not saying I'm going to come out of here with legs that look like Tina Turner, surgery free, or I'm not going to come out here looking like a runway model, skin, without skin surgery. I'm not saying that. There is a sense of reality, but I'm saying it can help. It's not bad, and it's not difficult, and it allows your body to heal itself when you're fasting. So for me, my fasting, my intermittent fasting, is I don't have strict guidelines for myself because anytime I put barriers around myself, I try to break through them. I'm just a rebel brat child like that. I put it as a challenge. How late can I go today without eating? Today I know I'm going to eat around noon. I have a lunch date with my mom and dad and son and daughter-in-law and grandbabies, and I'm going to eat lunch. It's an hour and a half. I don't think I'm going to die in an hour and a half of starvation. I'm not even hungry. And the only reason I thought about food is because when I put some in the refrigerator and I saw the egg salad, I pulled it out and reminded myself, crap, Condi, that's habit. That's not hungry. Yeah, it sounded good because it tasted good. But I wasn't hungry. I actually had the egg salad on my spoon and was in process of putting it in my mouth when I went, whoa, 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 stop, stop. Knocked it off the spoon, put the spoon in the sink, put it back in the refrigerator. Now I feel like I had victory. I'm the winner. Egg salad didn't rule me. I ruled it. So if you're trying this and you're having some struggles and your blood sugars aren't where you want them to be yet, or your weight isn't coming down as fast as you'd like for it to, or you're just curious about it, I recommend watch some of Dr. Jason Fung's videos on YouTube. They're free. You can watch them. Watch some of Dr. Eric Berg on YouTube about intermittent fasting. Watch Dr. Boz is a new one. Annette Boswell, Dr. Boz. She talks about autophagy and intermittent fasting. Dr. Ken Berry. Watch some of those videos and see, could this be for me? If so, try it. Try it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I know right now, I'm I today is Friday. I just started it like Tuesday or Wednesday, so it's not like I've been intermittent fasting for a long time right now. I knew it was something I wanted to do, but I just had a hard time with that habit in the morning. And it was just habit. It was a hunger, you know. So I finally I just said, "Why are you messing around with it? Do you want it or do you don't?" Or like I asked my children when they were growing up and they had a challenge, "How bad do you want it? Try it. If it doesn't work, who cares? You didn't lose anything by trying it." So today I put that stinking egg salad back in the refrigerator. I'm not hungry and I have a win in my back pocket. So, all right, I'm going to get off of here. I didn't want this to be a real long video because I have things to do today. So, I love you. If this helps, if my rambling, my keto rambling helps, then please subscribe, share with someone else that might need a partner in their corner. Because, like I said the other day, this whole mentality of eating fat to lose weight, to of cutting out the carbohydrates and grains, that goes against the norm, and it's difficult to do it when you feel like you're doing it by yourself. So if you need a partner in your corner, subscribe to the channel, share it, like it. That's what this is about. This is me on my journey, and anybody that wants to join me on my journey, there's power in numbers. So anyway, have a good one. Love you. Bye bye.